more spider webs. Oh, wow. There's like a lot of spider webs under this tree. I'm freaking out, guys. I'm hoping that a spider doesn't come on me. I don't know if I told you, I have a massively unhealthy phobia of spiders. It is unfreaking believable. I will literally cause injury to myself accidentally, not on purpose, but I will literally cause injury to myself if I'm around a spider. I will fall, I will scream, yeah. You know those horror movies that you see where spiders come out of in the shower and spiders come out? Yeah, I would be one of those people. So hopefully there's not a spider that comes down here today. So I decided to do this outside, obviously, on a hot day. Again, very hot. For August, we're having 90s, which is still weird because usually we should be cooling down by now. But cheers to everybody out there. I am actually drinking my coffee today. Yay. I had to have my coffee. So yeah, thought I haven't done this on the patio area for a while, and I thought I'd come out here despite it being hot and just do this outside. So I hope you guys, again, are doing well. Hopefully you stayed tuned last week. This video that I wanted to talk about today and on this video was kind of a prelude to last week in a way. It kind of like goes with it. So if you haven't watched last week's video, I did a video on your inner critic and how it's sucking the life out of you and basically self-negative talk. And I thought this week would be a good thing to just go and kind of go off on a little different direction with that and talk about your inner champion. So kind of the opposite. And if you're going, okay, Donna, you're using these weird terms, what do you mean inner champion? Our inner champions, right? No, not really. But what I mean inner champion is like the good things that you see about yourself. And my nose, I don't know what it is out here, but my nose is tingling like wildfire, guys. There's something out here that's bugging my allergies. Hey, maybe it's the spiders. No. But yeah, inner critic. When I was talking about that, and to touch on that a little bit, our inner critic, you know, it's all the bad things in our mind and our thoughts that we say about ourselves that we just bring ourselves down, and our inner critic is always talking to us. But ways to get that chatter to go away is basically looking to your inner champion. And this one's a good one. I had actually learned this strategy, oh gosh, a little over 5-6 years ago. And I never knew what it was. I thought, you know, when I first heard inner champion, I thought, well, that's kind of conceited. You know, why would you look at I'm an inner champion? And that's not what it is, guys. That's not what it is. But when I learned this strategy, I thought, wow, this is interesting to basically do when it kind of helps shut up your inner critic, for one. And we'll let this plane go by. Might be a little noisy coming across the screen. I think it's pretty low, actually. Yeah. But yeah, this one's a good one to take out. So if you guys have like a journal, or if you guys have a notebook of some kind, or just some paper, you can jot this stuff down and kind of really do this for yourself. And basically, your inner champion is how you want to see yourself. Okay, so like where you are now is not where you want to be. Okay, so there's like this gap, right? We see ourselves where we are at this very moment in time, right? Whether we like ourselves at this point, whether we just can't stand what we're doing, we're at this point because it's the present time. So your inner champion is actually looking at your own self down the line. From where you are now, where do you want to go and what do you want to become at this moment? Okay, so that's looking into your inner champion. And a good way to start this, and I have done this before, is sit down like with yourself or a piece of paper, and you can write this down, and just kind of think, like on a physical level, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself wearing a certain outfit, maybe wearing certain clothes? And don't be judgmental. That's the thing about this is you don't want to be judgmental. So if you're like needing to lose a couple of pounds right now, say, and you're like, oh, well, I would love to fit into that bathing suit, but I'm too fat right now. Inner critic. That's not what this video is about, guys. So don't judge yourself. Where do you want to be down the road? Picture yourself, what you look like. Do you want to be wearing that bathing suit? Maybe you're wearing that two-piece, right? For us women, maybe you're wearing that sexy two-piece. You're walking around in a bikini, you look good, you know you feel great, you're wearing the colors that just bring everything out in you.
And when you write it down, you do want to write it down as how you feel in the moment of wearing those clothes, how it makes you feel to wear that, how it makes you feel to have others seeing you wear that.
Yeah, get in perspective, get your emotions involved in that and think.
You'll want to get your imagination involved and pretend that you are that. Write down what, like I said, write down what your emotions are, write down how you feel, how you look.
Yeah. And this is like, again, where you want to be. But another thing is close your eyes. That's a good way to do this, I think, too, is just close your eyes for a moment and just picture, what do you see yourself wearing? What colors do you want to see yourself in? And be bold. I mean, don't sit there and go, if you want to wear something bold and something sexy, especially for us women, picture that in your head, okay? Don't be ashamed of that. That's where you kind of have to take those judgments and your inner critic out of it at the moment and think, oh, I could never wear that. Oh my gosh, I could never see myself wearing a low-cut shirt. Yes, you can. You can wear whatever the crap you want. So picture it, okay? And that same goes for guys too, If you see yourself in a certain outfit or in a pair of jeans or a pair of shorts you're comfortable with, picture yourself in those. Picture what is it feeling like with that confidence? Your confident levels, like, do you feel confident about yourself when you're wearing these things? Like, when you walk into a room, what are people going to notice about you? When you walk into a room, people just stop and notice, right? And those kind of things, going in with yourself, I'm used to talking about all the stuff of going inward and working inward on yourself in deep levels, but we don't really touch on the good points because you have to have that balance, right? You have to have that balance. And another good question to write down is, what do you see yourself doing? Like, maybe you have a wonderful place you'd love to go visit and travel to. Picture yourself in that moment and connect with those emotions of how it's going to feel like once you get there. What are you doing? What are you wearing? Where are you going? The places that you're exploring, right? This is kind of a future, this is looking into the future, what you want to do. So you want to close your eyes and picture this. Now, I do want to make a correction here. Doing this kind of work, okay, because there's a lot of things about the fake it till you make it aspect. That is not what this is, okay? So I want you to completely dismiss. We're not asking you to fake it till you make it, because that does not work. You want to be the authentic, real you, but the authentic, better you, okay? The confident you, the beautiful you. The you that goes out and is not afraid. And is not afraid to go out and get what they want. That's where I want you to connect with your heart to, okay? Not the fake it till you make it. You connect in here authentically with yourself. You can picture these things and play out in your mind what it's going to feel like when you get to that moment. What is it going to make you, feel like when you get to do the things that you want to do? That is connecting, guys, with your heart and your inner champion. And I had to do the work on this a while back. When I first heard this, I have to admit I did it wrong. Okay, and Well, I take that back. I don't want to say that it's wrong because really there's no right or wrong way to do this per se. But I was taking in a different perspective. When I started doing that work, I did not realize a lot of things at that time. I have learned so much since that time that I was taking it more literally as, oh, I'm going to pretend that I'm this other person and take my whole self out of context and pretend that I'm her and I look up to someone, I'm pretending like I'm this person. And I did it completely not authentically. And when I did that, it did not feel right with me. It's because, for one, I wasn't connecting with myself, okay, my real self. I was connecting with outward things. I was trying to outside validation. And when I did the work, I was like, okay, this just doesn't feel like me, right? But then now, coming to this moment, I can do this and I can close my eyes and I can picture myself being confident in this outfit, or I can picture myself going to this place, and it doesn't feel unreal and it doesn't feel fake anymore. That is because I connected with myself for once, right? I connected with me. And I think that's what you really need to do, is start connecting with you first, right? So, yeah, and what would you want to
Well,
say, like, for inner
when
champion?
children do pretend, or they're doing play acting, do they pretend to be, you know, someone else, or do they pretend that they are that?
It depends on what the
Well,
kid's doing.
well, okay,
I know,
yeah, it depends, but like, okay, say a child wants to be a firefighter.
yeah.
Are they pretending to be someone else as a firefighter, or are they pretending as themselves deep inside? Who
I
is
would
the firefighter?
I would want to suggest that they're deep inside, they're looking at themselves as the firefighter.
That's the same type of thing that we're talking
Yeah,
about. Building
exactly.
your inner champion. This is the same thing children do when they imagine what they're going to be in the future.
Naturally they do that.
They do it
Yeah.
naturally. They want to be a airplane pilot, so
They're
they
over
play
there
with planes. So,
playing with the airplane.
so
Pretend.
yeah, they're playing with a little toy airplane. Who's flying that toy airplane? It's not Bob down the street.
No.
I'll tell you that one.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
They're flying that little airplane.
Yeah.
They are doing these things. They are creating their reality.
Yeah, because it's coming from, again, their heart. And kids, us adults are more complicated because a kid, they don't think about these kind of things, right? They don't think about the society and outward validation and maybe I should be this way because he thinks, they think. Kids are free of that. Well, for the most part, I think. I mean,
until they get into
until
school
they get older.
and
But
start experiencing a lot of peer pressure.
yeah, but when they're real little, kids don't have all those all that crap that just bogs them down. They just are themselves and they're free, right? Where us adults, we complicate things and we try to play pretend and do it all weird, and we
scare
develop,
the kids.
yeah, we develop egos and an alternate personality. And I mean, kids are completely. If you observe little kids and their play, yeah, you'll find that they're playing. It's within themselves. It's coming out within themselves.
It's pure.
It's pure. Exactly. That's the word. It's pure. Whereas adults, it's more of an ego type comparison to other people. What are they going to think? Oh my gosh, we make it complicated.
But anyway, to
Yeah.
keep it uncomplicated, when you're looking for your inner champion, think of it from a child's perspective as they are
Yeah.
that, okay? They are, that little girl is the cutest girl on the beach.
Yeah.
That's what they're pretending. That boy is that fighter pilot. That's what he is. while he's pretending. Okay? What's funny is, you know, the instances that adults don't get in the way of the child's imagination and growth, those children actually become those things.
Yeah, they're not. They're
As
not,
long as the adults don't try to shove their life experiences down the child's throat.
right. Yeah.
The child is a new life. It's not your life. It's the child's life.
Yeah. And
Your inner champion is your inner child. It is what you dreamt. It is you. It is not what, you know, the hobo down the road wanted to be. It is what you want to be. Use your imagination in a childlike manner. Use that imagination to actually build yourself as what you want to be. Not what you are.
yeah, not what you are
Not
at this
what
moment.
not what people think you are.
Yeah.
What you are to yourself.
Right.
Who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Who you still want to be.
And it's still there, guys. I mean, like, if you go back and you kind of look back in your childhood of what you wanted to do or be or become, a lot of the times it's shunned out. Like Toby said, if their kids are brought up in that manner where they're able to be that person that they want to, they're pretending to be, and they don't get all that stuff slapped at them, like, oh no, you can't, and all these no's and everything, and they grow up and actually be a firefighter, or whatever that they're going to be, then, they're not having limits on themselves. But a lot of times we put so many limits on ourselves, we put limits on other people. Like, for me, for example, and I've shared this with you before, and I've also shared this in my book, as well with part of my story. When I was younger, I used to pretend like I was in front of an audience talking about mindset stuff that I talk about now, well, in a childlike manner, okay, what a child would understand. But I pretended I had an audience and I was coaching these people about how, different things, psychologically different things, mindset-wise, to my abilities as a kid. I'm sure I blabbed on and said things I probably had no idea what I was saying, but I loved doing that, right? And I didn't know then that I was I was pretending that for a reason. And then growing up, we get taken down all these other paths, and your inner champion kind of gets shoved down. We let people outside of us shove our inner champions down. And then we do not fully work to our potential, and we fully don't do what our hearts say we want to do, what our heart and souls want to do. And that's the hardest thing that I've had to come to conclusion of, is I spent many years disconnected from that. And finally I connected back to that inner child, like Toby was saying, of look at what I was doing as a kid and where it's brought me now in the coaching, doing coaching, writing a book. I mean, who knew I'd ever write a book, right?
Your inner child did.
Yeah, and as a kid I would write short stories. Literally, I would write little books. Okay? And so seeing myself already as an author, obviously as a kid, I didn't say it, but as a kid already internally, I had already connected with that as I'm an author, I'm a writer. And I got disconnected with that because I've always loved writing. I love the act of writing. I love creative writing. I love writing. And I excelled in English class, so... And all those years it pushed down, and then now here I am. I consider myself, I am an author, I'm a writer, I'm a coach. All those things that I was already as a kid, guys. That is your true inner champion. That is your true inner champion. So, and whatever that story looks like for you, whatever path you're on now, kind of go back and just connect to that inner child again.
Yeah, get in touch. Get back in touch with your inner child, your inner imagination. You can do this. And yes, it does take baby steps.
Yeah, it's not
but
something.
And it's something that you have to read and learn that was actually automatic when you were a child. You have to read and learn it because it's not the adult thing to do. Unfortunately, it's necessary for adults to do.
Yeah.
And that's where it actually gets screwed up. That's where people end up having more problems than they need to because they end up ignoring what their inner selves, their inner child, their inner champion, what was formed with inside them, the courage, the strength that was inside them before other influences. When you played by yourself, you were the champion of the story, not someone else.
Yeah. It's true. It's very true. And, I just think as adults, that's why I said we need to learn to reconnect. And I imagine, guys, what it would be like if all of us would just go back and then look at where we are now, what potential we were holding back when we got disconnected from ourselves. And everybody comes to a point where we get disconnected from ourselves. I mean, I think that's more common nowadays, especially now. We have so many things bombarding us at any given time. And again, I like to say that, I guess I like to use this word autopilot because it's so true. We get on autopilot and we just go. We don't think, we don't connect, we just go. We just do what we have to do to get by and quote unquote survive, and that's it. When we have so much more that we can dig into and really go after in our lives. And I think too, as kids, we're kind of, everybody has fear, but I think kids, I don't want to say fearless, but they don't sit there and go contemplate, oh my goodness, that's scary, oh that's scary, oh that's scary, oh I don't know if I'm going to do that. The kids jump off things. I mean, you did probably like wheelies and all kinds of weird stuff on your bike, where now you'd be like, I think I'm gonna fall, I mean, kids are more open and they're less fearful of venturing out and doing what they want to do, right? Whereas us adults, we have all these blocks and all these things that just, you gotta go this and you gotta make, what about this decision? Oh my gosh, I can't go this way. I mean, it's insane. So yeah, that's the big point, guys, that is the true inner champion. And like I said, I think just a good idea is just take some quiet time for yourself and really connect to your inner child. And this time, I'm not talking about traumatic stuff. I'm not talking about deep emotional wounds. I'm not talking about any of that kind of stuff this time. I'm talking about your true, authentic, happy, real self. Your whole beautiful being.
I know this sounds a little weird, okay, but if you take a few minutes to remember what type of toys you played with when you were little, and take a minute to just goof around with one of those toys. It sounds weird, okay, but it comes down to an actual psychological thing. It sounds weird that you're sitting there playing with your old Barbie dolls or your old Hot Wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, or even a Hot Wheel. It doesn't even have to be one of your old ones. But you're taking time to play with a toy that you played with and you love to play with. That's the key factor. You have to love to play with that toy. If you take the time to play with that toy or look up those toys on the internet or something like that, it's actually sparking a mental connection to those memories is what it's actually doing. And it will help assist in getting in touch with that inner child again.
Yeah, that is a little different, although most people might feel embarrassed to do that, but it's
Screw
not
it.
really, I mean, I have to admit, guys, I played Barbie dolls until I was 14 years old,
You know,
where,
someone says, "Why are you doing that? You're an adult." Just play a little child. Take the toy and throw it at them.
I
They
mean,
deserve it.
I have stuffed toys, guys. I have stuffed toys, stuffed dogs, stuffed cats, stuffed ferrets. I mean, I have stuffed animals, and I play around with those things. I mean, here I am, 46 years old, and I have stuffed animals around. If you look at our place, you really like. I mean, I even have a ton of them in storage of just stuffed animals. And my most favorite ones I keep, out. There's a couple on the bed. There's one. I mean, and people might think that's weird because they're like, okay, you're an adult. Why do you need stuffed toys? Why not? Right? Why not? I mean, even you have
I have a couple of things
on the top
floating
of our
around.
on the top of our thing, you have a couple of like that 18-wheeler, and I mean, we still have a few toys from childhood that we keep out. And it might, like you said, it might sound weird, and people might go, well, that's kind of childish. Well, that's the point, right? That's the point. Getting in touch with your childlike aspect, because that's what will free you up for more creativity.
Yeah.
It's what's going to free your brain up for more, like, being open to trying new things, because as kids, we were open to trying new stuff, right? You wouldn't sit there and you get a truth or dare from one of your friends as a kid. Go, I dare you to jump in that water. Of course, me, I did have a fear of water, so that's not a good idea for me. But, I mean, for some people, I dare you to jump in that water. Well, a kid's going to jump in the water, right? I mean, we just need to learn to connect with that again, guys. Connect with that. So what if it feels silly? Who cares? Right? Who cares? And, I mean, in fact, I'll share this one last story. I don't know, maybe I did before I might have on another video, but my nephew, yeah, him and his girlfriend, we were up there, and he's 16 now. But earlier this year in the summer, we went out to visit my sister-in-law and her husband and my nephew and everything, and we went out to the store, and I mean, here they are, 15, 16-year-old kids I'm hanging around. I'm old enough to be their mom, right? And I'm playing right along with them. We're in the store acting silly. Here I am in the store laughing with them. They were telling jokes about some stuff. And I mean, in moderation. I'm not saying it's all in good fun. I wasn't doing something really dumb and stupid. But we were just joking around, being silly, and I was right along with them. I mean, here I am, 46 years old, and I'm over here with this 15, 16-year-olds just carrying on, laughing and everything. I mean, it helps me feel younger. It connects me to my childhood. It connects me to my inner child, and I feel free. I feel like
And it
you
also
feel
builds
different.
it also builds a higher connection with them.
Yeah, and you can relate to teenagers better.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we don't have kids ourselves, but I noticed, like, I can connect easily with teenagers. I can connect easily with that sort of group, because I'm not like, oh, well, I'm not like acting like their mom. I'm not acting like their mom. I'm being their friend. And I'm saying, if they're going to do something really stupid, now if my nephew went out and did something incredibly stupid, okay, he's going to get a whop upside the head from me. And probably worse from Toby. But, what I'm talking about is connecting with that aspect of you, right? It is there. You just got to learn to bring it out. So that is, I think, your true inner champion, connecting to yourself, being confident with who you are, being confident in what you're doing, and not really worrying about what other people think, okay? That is the true inner champion, is stop worrying about what society thinks about you, stop worrying what others might think about you. Be yourself, right? Be yourself. So, I think, I don't know if I have anything else to say on that. I mean, it's really, we're just keeping it kind of simple today, not,
Yeah, that's about
just
it.
keep keeping it simple and just letting you guys, just awareness. I think that's what it is. The biggest thing is just having the awareness about it, you know. So hopefully, hopefully this has helped. I know I love to come up with all kinds of these subjects. They just fire me up, guys. I love it. So if you haven't listened to that other one, go back and listen to your inner critic one that I did last week. That way this will kind of help you for this video. It's a little connected. It works together. So, guys, I'm going to close out for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Get out there, do something fun. Do something for your inner child, okay? Act silly, turn music up, play with a stuffed animal. I don't care. Play with, well, RC cars, you have those. All those are
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to get connected with your inner child. Do something funny. And don't worry about what other people think. Alright guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon again on my next Coffee Break Conversations. Bye-bye, everybody.